just so overwhelmingly meh about this book. What is up, you guys? It's me, your girl, your Casey. How you doing? So, we all heard about this, right? The Rage of Dragons. So I, being privy to all things booktube, had heard, of course, of Rage of Dragons, a book that was so good being self-published that its sequel, Fires of Vengeance, I believe, is now being traditionally published. It has an insanely good Goodreads score, and it's hard to find a person who hates this book. And then you have me, who's just so, about the whole thing. I don't love it, I don't hate it, it just exists. I mean, I got good things that I did like about this book, and I have things I'm like, why are you here? And so for y'all who do not know the synopsis of this story, we have this race of people. They're called the Omehi. They are the chosen race of the goddess. The one true goddess whose name escapes me. They just call her the goddess all the time, so, you know. The Omehi lived in this other land, the motherland, the mother country. But they were chased out of their own lands by this immortal race called the Cole. So now the Omehi have gotten on a boat, crashed said boat on this new island, and you know, the natives of the island are like, oh, hey, we're not fond of you being here, skedaddle. And the Omehi are like, we don't have a place to skedaddle to. And Mr. Island native people is like, oh yeah, well put up your dukes. We're gonna fight for this land, invaders, pow. And so yeah, war. Non-stop war. War never changes. War. For 200 years, it seems like. The years in these books are called cycles. At least I'm hoping that's what it meant by cycles. I didn't realize until I finished this book that there was a glossary in the back, which would have helped me immensely, especially in the first few chapters of this book, which details the initial conflict between the Omehi and the natives. Like that first chapter. Man, the second chapter too, you're just bombarded by a nice little handful of terms, and it's just boom, like a comet just hits you in the side of the head. Like we're thrown right into the conflict. Natives are storming the beach, and we got a scale of fighters over here, a battalion of wings over here, we have a hex over here, and I'm like, holy Justin Bieber, what do you mean? But then again, this is probably my fault for not taking the time to look at the dang glossary in the back of the book. But then again, those same terms were not like organically talked about, like what a hex is, what a scale is, what a wing is. Scale and wings are military terms, like how many men are in a unit. We did not talk about those in dialogue ever, and we did not know what a hex was until deep into the book. So yeah, I could have flipped to the glossary and like read what it meant, but also like, does that make for like poor world building and exposition if we have to rely on the glossary to tell us what things are? And also, the prologue of this book starts with our queen assigning one of her men to take a coterie, okay, and go find some dragons. And I'm like, I am not reading that book again. Nope, not too soon. That book was a beautiful mess on its own. The world building in itself, I was not too impressed with. This is a African-inspired world, and I have never read an African-inspired fantasy before, so it was very new in that regard, but I also think it was done sloppily in some areas. Like, the most important thing to me is characters in the book, and this book was not good with characters. Even worse, it threw 100 names at you and 100 different like noble stations. It's like each individual soldier in this book had its own unique name for its station, so that was confusing. I got the characters mixed up with each other all the time. A lot of them, besides our main character Tao, did not have a distinguishable personality besides Ugalurk. Is that his name? That's what I kept calling him in my brain. Uduak. I wasn't close at all. Uduak was cool. He was like a big mean giant, but also secretly friendly, and I like that. But that's it about him. He wasn't deep at all. One of my big pet peeves is when like we have a group, like Six of Crows, Loch Lamora, we have a gang of friends that we're supposed to come to know and love. My thing that I like when we have a gigantic cast of characters is when we're introduced to each person individually, not when it's lumped together. Because like our guy Tao, who is a swordsman, he gets pushed off into the military and we meet his squadron like that. Like all of them together, all of them have names that honestly I can't remember and don't care to remember. And their personalities were nothing beyond little quirks. Like you had Uduak, who just like spoke in like stereotypical, oh, I'm a giant so I speak like this. I don't use words right. Like that. Another guy, his only noticeable trait was he coughed a lot. We had the smart guy, the token smart guy. I don't even, like, he became in charge of the whole squadron, but I don't remember how he got to that station. Like, honestly, the cast was very forgettable. Except Tao. I have a love-hate relationship with Tao. Tao. He's the person I like the most in this book, but I don't like him a whole lot. I personally like in the book where we have a protagonist who has a backstory. Tao does not. He lived a very normal life. He had a father. He had a mother. There was some drama in that relationship, but it's ended by now. So you're introduced to him right in his normal life, which could be great, you know? It's a fantasy. Someone's probably going to die in his family or something like that. And we're going to go on a revenge quest. Revenge quest does happen. But Tao in the beginning was like indistinguishable. That's just going to be the word for this video. Indistinguishable. He wasn't any different from any other characters except we were in his point of view and stuck in his thoughts. But I think what really builds a character's character is when they have thoughts. Tao did not have thoughts. He just reacted to what was around him. We had like snips of backstory, but I could tell it was just shoved in there to get some personality into him, but it was not integrated well. Like he goes on this spiel of like how he is a lesser noble. So like you have the dredges who are like the slaves. You have another class who are like the cowards or like who couldn't fight in the military. Then you have his class, the lesser nobles. And so his father was a lesser noble. His mother was, I think, of a higher station. So they married, but then she left him. She got remarried and they had a daughter. So Tao comes across his half sister and she's like, oh, you, disgusting, lesser noble. And Tao's like, I have the same mother as you. And then he goes into this whole backstory about like how the mom separated from the dad and how she married into a better caste and stuff like that. In the middle of us trying to like, you know, stop an invasion. Really good pacing. No. You hear that saw? That's the sound of my expectations being sawed in half. This book has dragons. They're just not in it a lot. You should know that. It's a good cover though. I like that cover. Tao did eventually get better because he became like borderline insane, and I dig that in a character. But to get to that point, we had to get through one obstacle that started the insaneness. Tao does lose someone, and did I cry? No, because like I said, the book was not great at developing bonds. Like it did not have moments between characters. Like we have like 4 important deaths in this book. I didn't care about any of them, and like on the last one I was like, girl, you stupid, you deserve that death. Character building besides Tao is not that great, and all the other people off on the sides not done well at all. So Tao does lose someone, and because we did not get to see those moments between him, that special individual, did I care that they died? No. Well, even if they didn't have a bond, was that one character who died important enough for me to want to get revenge on who killed that person, myself? No. Because like I said, if you're not Tao, you don't get plot in this book. You don't get a personality. Tao himself doesn't even start out with a personality, but then he goes insane, and insane is a personality. I have that myself. But you know, once the unjust murder happens, that's when the plot starts going. We have 2 plots in this book. We have, oh, we're still fighting our 200-year-long war with the natives war. Then we also have the murder quest, which was my favorite part. Like, I did not care anything about the war. I wanted the murder quest to be the real deal, the whole shebang. And it was really good, except, again, Tao is not smart. He's very idiotic and naive until he goes insane. Then he's cool. He has 2 swords and he's like a sword-wielding demon, and it's awesome. And I did like the way he like trains. It involves like the magic system of this world where you're able to like step into the underworld for like a brief moment. And so he's like, all these humans, they're too weak. I have to get stronger to avenge my special person. So then he's like, you, demon, fight me, bro. Make me stronger. So he trains with demons, and that's dope. But yeah, that murder quest. I like it, but it started off stupid because 4 people did Tao wrong. He goes to the first person who's like really close by, so obviously that's going to be the first target. And does our guy Tao like sneak into his room at night, slip a dagger into his heart, leave without alerting anyone? No. Our dude Tao sneaks it through a window, lets the rain patter onto the floorboards, waking our target up. And Tao has just been standing at the end of the bed waiting for the dude to wake up, so Tao could tell this victim how exactly he'll kill him later on. And I'm like, you deserve to be shot. Who cares about your drama? Just kill the fool. He's obviously a newbie assassin, but it was honestly lovely to see Tao go from this kind of incompetent soldier to the best one. I loved that journey. That was fantastic. I absolutely loved all the fight scenes in these books. They were fantastic. I liked how they were initiated, if that's the word, into the military. I liked the little tournament they had to do in the military to get to their final station. And the greatest part of that was actually seeing Tao himself just get more and more obsessed with like learning swordplay. So much so to the point that his little squad mates, his sword brothers, even though they don't really have any bonds that I can decipher, but apparently they're close. One of the sword brothers is like, hey, yo, man, you need to chill. Like, you train literally all the time. You don't sleep. You don't bathe. You barely eat. You need to do this in moderation. Just train with the rest of us, bro. We'll spar with you. And so Tao is like, you know, they're right. I want to, like, be with my sword brothers. I want to have bonds with them. I want to go drinking in pubs with them. He's like, I will learn how to do this in moderation, not be so obsessive with my swordplay, and I will live a very healthy, balanced life. And then literally the next paragraph says, and I'm paraphrasing here, and yeah, Tao forgot about his promise and went back to sword fighting the very next day. And I'm like, that is relatable. Like a balanced work and play life. No, there's stuff to be done. No. But yeah, part of what made that journey into the obsessive compulsive nature of his training so entertaining was how Tao started. Like, this man, his only option was to go into the military. That was the only job for him and of someone of his station. But he has this girl, Zuri. He wants to be with his girl. He wants to be a father. He wants to have children. He doesn't want to be caught up in a never-ending war. So one day, the natives actually invade his little part of the country. He ends up, like, killing a native lady in defense for his own life, and he's, like, traumatized by it. It freaked him out, like, oh, I just killed someone. And at this part of the book, this early part, he's not even that good of a swordsman. Like, he's going to die sooner or later. So he's like, I don't want to waste my life, so I'm gonna, like, purposefully injure myself so they'll discharge me honorably from the army, and I can go back home to my girl Zuri. Now, yes, work the system. I like this plan. But then the obsessive murder quest happened, and you know we gotta get vengeance, and I'm always down for that, so I will excuse this. And I liked how had, like, personal frustrations with their society, and how, like, oh, if you're born of this station in this caste, oh, you can't, like, be better than this caste. Like, I don't like it when people are treated, you know, badly just because of what situations they're born into. So Tao just getting, like, more and more resentful because he can't take his revenge on those people who did him wrong unless he's at this station and this station and this station, or else he's gonna get hung. There's loopholes he has to crawl through. And I'm like, you know, maybe we should let the natives just, like, wipe some of y'all out, just like the head honchos. Leave the, like, normal people. Remake a better society. You know how I said we gotta, like, take out those head honchos because they ain't running a poppin' society? Well, some of our targets for our murder quests, they're, like, very high nobles. But the thing is, and this was, like, one of the really big things that was bothering me throughout this whole book, the guys who did our boy Tao wrong, like, we didn't have a past with them. Like, they were there and introduced in that instant they killed his loved one. And then they were off. Like, they had places to go to. And then Tao is chasing after them. One of these nobles' name is Odili, and we barely see him in this book. And he's, like, the main target. And Tao is like, oh, I'm gonna kill this man. I'm gonna get him. He's the big bad. I'm like, is he really? Like, yeah, like, he killed your loved one. And I get why you're upset. But I did not care about your loved one. I hardly cared about you at the time. And we don't know Mr. Evil Guy at all. So I don't care. There was another guy who's part of Tao's, like, murder trio. His name's Kellen. And I liked Kellen because Tao actually got to, like, meet Kellen on several occasions, tried to kill him on several occasions. And Tao's like, I'm here for revenge, you meanie. And Kellen is like, who the heck are you? Like, he did not care at all for Tao's murder revenge. He's like, dude, I got things to do. Yeah, I'll hit you with my sword a few times. Yeah, just no, shove off. Kellen was my third favorite character. Tao, Uduak, Kellen. I hated Zuri. Oh my gosh, the love interest. Again, this book was not that good on developing bonds between characters. Zuri is Tao's love interest. I did not feel any sparks between them. Did I like her? She was snippy at times, and I respect snippy when someone needs to be snippy. But she was just nice. That's it. And she was stupid. Bunny stupidity is nice in book. Stupidity in war? Bruh. No. No, now you just got me silently judging you with my little checklist right here. Like, just to talk about stupidity for a moment. One of the magical systems of this world is that primarily the ladies, the gifted, can step into the spirit world, the underworld, and use the power there to, like, knock out enemy soldiers. They can control dragons with the energies in this world. But they also, while they're doing this, have to, like, shroud themselves with their powers. In the spirit world, they glow. That glow attracts demons. So while one of the gifted, who is a main character in the story, is in that state, she's in the spirit world, she's being shrouded, but her shroud is falling apart, so the demons are attacking her. So I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, she's about to die. But a miracle upon miracles, she's able to, like, get out of that state and go back to the physical world. And I'm like, well, that was a lucky escape. But then this fool, already weakened from the demon attack, her magical power is, like, this much now. She dives right back into into it. You could probably guess what happened. And I'm like, you deserve that. I don't care if you were trying to save one of your friends from a giant beast trying to eat them. Throw a rock at their head. That would have had the exact same effect. So yeah, the characters didn't capture me. The world itself did not capture me either. I like the spirit world tie-in. It has an official name, I just don't remember it. Tao was great. But then we just had like all the bland characters. The kind of vague, oh, we have to kill that random guy who did me wrong. And I just didn't really care for the war plot. I like the murder quest plot. So I'm kind of balanced on this. I give it a 3. You'll probably love it, or you won't. You probably will, because looking at the Goodreads score, I'm very in the minority. And that's fine with me. I don't hate it, I just don't have any feelings about it. Not gonna continue reading with it though, like the next book. I got other things to read. I gotta read the sequel to Luck Lamora. That was a dang good book. That one did character bonds very well. I cried. But anyways, guys, thank you for hearing a little rant. Not really a rant, just like a aggressive shrug. Until next time, stay ready, my friends.